you should sell this old red tractor. And they said, no, that's my favorite. Yeah. The name of Mennonite starts by Mendocino. Delegates came from Canada searching land here in Mexico.
You got all this equipment here. Wow.
I think we were lost our culture.
Good afternoon from Ciudad. White, German, Dutch looking people. So let me quickly talk about how the Mennonites came to Mexico. So originally Mennonites are from Germany, the Netherlands area. I guess they got prosecuted out of that place and they settled in Canada. Others settled in the United States, and the original land that they were given was actually free. So then in the early parts of the 1900s, you have Mexico. They want basically white settlement here in Mexico, and hopefully what the whites did for the United States and what they did for Canada, they want the same thing done for Mexico, which is to produce agriculture output and to just be industrious people, to not have any problems, not cause any problems. And that was the initial goal of why the Mennonites came to Mexico. One of the things the Mennonites want you to know is that they are a pacifist group of people. And what that means is they are nonviolent, they don't partake in war, they don't want anything to do with the military, and for the most part, they want to be left alone. All of this land here is Mennonite territory. All of these fields, that's apple right there. This is where they cultivate corn. In the early 1920s, they were able to negotiate a special immigration through President Alvaro Obrador. And these are the four special things that they got. And I think no one else in Mexico has ever gotten before then and after then. One, they won't be forced into military service. Two, in no case will you be compelled to swear oath. I don't know exactly what that means, but maybe to testify, I'm not even sure what that means. Three, you can practice your religion any way as you please. No one in Mexico, no government, no one will bother you. Number four, you can teach your children however you want. You can do whatever you want with your children. You're not going to get any of the other things that Mexico requires that be taught to Mexican students based on the Mexican law that every child should get educated. And the fifth thing is you can use the land however you please. As long as you're doing it for good things, productive things, you will not be controlled by the government, interfered. The government will not interfere in any of your business doings and whatever you do on your land. What was the catalyst for Mexico wanting all of these Mennonites? Well, in the state of Chihuahua, you have a decimated population because of the revolution. You also have a decimated population because of influenza at the time, this diseases. So most of the cattle, most of the population died in the early 1900s. So you have all of this land that's in Chihuahua, and there's very few people here. You do have the indigenous people that probably roamed around this land, but it was just a good opportunity for the Mennonites to come in. Now today, all of those factories, all of those shops that sell tractor equipment and production lines, it is all because of the Mennonites. I think of all of the states I have seen, all of the people that I have seen, the Mennonites probably produce the most per capita in Mexico of any single group. I'm sure the Lebanese produce a lot. I'm sure other small groups produce a lot of things, but on a per capita basis, the Mennonites, with the amount of land they have, with their access to the United States market, to the Belize market, to the Canadian market, I think they're a group of people that's very hard to beat and to compete with. All of this land, as far as the eye can see, right near the mountain ranges there, on both sides, all of this area here is going to be Mennonite land. I mean, the amount of infrastructure that they have, incredible. They charge you $5, $6 just to come here. So they definitely make money. This is the apple here. Now this comes at a very high cost. And one of those costs is a lot of water is used to keep all this up. And Chihuahua, it's a very dry state. It's not getting rain as it did before. And for the other local people, it is causing a negative impact. But for them, it's just like, hey, let's pump and pump and pump. A lot of the water nowadays is through the water wells. So in Mexico, you're gonna find Mennonites in many different states. Chihuahua does have the biggest, but now you're having Campeche. A lot of the people from this state that are more conservative, have moved to Campeche. But you're also gonna find a population in Durango. Let me just give you an idea of what they bought. In 1921, they initially settled on 91,000 hectares, 225,000 acres. In Durango, they bought 35,000 acres or 14,164 hectares. So these rooms here, they're cabins and they cost about $200 a night. I actually think that's a really good deal, especially with these views, fresh air. I mean, it's very well built. So props to the Mennonites for building something that nice. See, yeah, all around the area they have cabins. I've yet to see in Mexico a group of people live this good. Incredible. I think they're having a wedding of some type of sort, or a graduation or something. So let me show you guys a Mennonite home. This is a modern Mennonite home here. Just like how they would build something in the United States, this is their neighborhood, but they have beautiful homes. Yep, and these are these Mennonites or Mexicans? These are Mennonites. They're living good. They are living good. Props to them. Props to them for living this good. So this is also a Mennonite home. This is a new home here. Look what they're building. They have a good amount of land and they just have really good construction. Take a look at the cows of the Mennonites. This is why they have money. It's definitely not a poor group of people. Very impressive. Very, very impressive. And these are like the cows you see in the United States. And they have a lot of hay. And even all the way on that backside is cows. They're gonna have a few Mexican people working on this side, but I think this is a feedlot. I'm not sure if the cows permanently live here, but interesting what they're doing. On this side, they have the silos. So whatever they produce, they can put it right here. So they have cows on this side. They have corn on this side. You might have the same owners, but whatever they do, they're making money. You have a lot of cows. You have a lot of corn, beans, oats. But the thing to note, see, look, take a look. I mean, they have all of the equipment, they have all the machinery, and they're just planting. Their cows are not gonna be hungry anytime soon. So this right here is called a center pivot. They have water flowing on both sides. They're cultivating. Some of these sections you might have cows, but this is their land. Beautiful, isn't it? So these are the indigenous people. These are the Tarahumaras. And yes, they work for the Mennonites. So the pipes that we were looking at, they can be used for applications like this. Yep. So here's the pipes, and they're using it for agriculture. But I was noticing like a lot of waste. So here's a tractor, and he's just on his land doing something, either fumigating it or planting. Look, we're in the state of Chihuahua. It is not supposed to be this green. It is not natural for it to be this green. So what's happening is that a lot of water from under the ground is being used. And some of the local Mexican people, communities, are not liking that a lot of the water is being used by the Mennonites. Again, water is probably the most important resource in all of the world, but it is extremely important in this area. I mean, you have hundreds of thousands of acres in this area where the land is cultivated, hundreds of thousands. It is super difficult to see here, but this might be 40 meters, or not 40 meters, 40 feet or so, all the way down. They're basically saving water over here. This is what keeps the United States running. It's the center pivots and huge tractor equipment. So then on this side, you're gonna have apples. All of this is apples. This, I believe, is gonna be corn. So this is what I'm talking about. We might get a better view over here. Here, you're gonna have all of this here is gonna be water. Water, water, water. And they dig it very deep. So I guess when times of like low amount of water, they still have water to plant. I can almost swear this is Ohio or somewhere in Kentucky. I can almost swear. So I think an airplane like this, I don't know if they're spraying the fields with an airplane like this. I mean, what other groups of people have airplanes in Mexico? Maybe like the mega farms, but they have a lot of silos to store their grains. So some of the more humble people, they might live in places like this, but I don't know who lives in places like this. If it's them, I know all of these homes, like they have AC. Like look at how big this home is. I mean, they're secluded, you don't really see. They have like trees covering it. And the construction is the same exact thing that they do in the United States. Wow. You would think this is America. And they got airplanes flying around the whole time. For example, like who in Mexico lives like this? Like this is just like a home in Texas or somewhere. They got a big home, they got a big yard, they got a pickup truck. And all of these homes are that way. And just behind their homes, they have more farmland. A lot of semi-trucks in this area, a lot of semi-trucks. So this is like one of their warehouses. Impressive. The other thing that I'm noticing is that there's a lot of new construction in this area. Lots and lots of new construction. Wow, they are living good. So this is residential oasis. So this is a gated community of them. The trash cans is just for them. And everybody has a pickup truck. Every single person has a pickup truck. They have a market here. I don't know if they're open. So you can get fruits, vegetables. This is the main road here. This is why they're wealthy. So this is where they buy and sell equipment. A lot of these places are going to be buy and sell equipment, buy and sell equipment, buy and sell, buy and sell. Washing machines, pickup trucks, a lot of pickup trucks in this area, lots and lots of pickup trucks. This is older equipment here, and whatever you want, whatever your budget can afford, they have it. And that's a Mennonite lady there. Take a look. I mean, you would think you're right in Chillicothe, Ohio, but less drugs, less opioids. This is their pickup trucks. They have their Dodge. Look. See, they got all the brands. So this is a Ford, GMC, Chevy, Dodge, Chevy, Jeep, GMC.
The name of Mennonite starts by Mennonite. He made that big change of the Mennonite Church in Holland, 1537, and that is the reason when he was that he changed the system of the church was people who didn't pay attention about what government or say that it was burned. It was, and he said, God say if you want to be a good people, you can. If you want not want, that's God do not want obligate. The ship was brought from Russia to Canada. Been searching for land. Delegates came from Canada searching land here in Mexico. Delegates arrived the first group here in San Antonio in 1922. But that was not Cuauhtemoc at that time. The name was San Antonio. The leaders who managed the firstborn in Mexico. My grandparents.
Your grandma and your grandpa.
My grandparents' parents were in Saskatchewan, Canada.
And was this their home as well in Canada?
Yeah.
Okay.
My grandparents' first home in this camp over here. The house of my parents, me and two sisters. This house is still there.
Is this the first? Is this the first house built in? This is the first house built by the Mennonites.
No, not by the Mennonites. Just here, in this village, 1933. First registration of a Mennonite here in Cuauhtemoc.
This is a registration. Okay.
A birth certificate.
Birth certificate. Do you also have another birth certificate there?
Yeah, but that's in Canada.
Okay.
The way they work.
The horses. Now this is how you grew up, correct?
Yeah.
With the horses, and then you're driving. And then as time goes on, this is the 1920s, the 1930s, the 1960s, and in the 1960s, you guys already have like tractors, big tractors.
No, we still didn't have, but the new church, I mean the liberal church, they had trucks at that time.
What is this? 1945.
A washing machine drive, putting a motor engine, thrashing.
What is this thing for? For the horses?
It's a horseshoe.
It's a horseshoe. And then that's
the first doctor coming to this colony in 1937. Or the Mennonites was 15 years without a doctor over here. They have some people who knows about medicine like that, but they didn't have a doctor. And this is our family when we celebrate 50 years married.
You and your wife.
And when we was young, one day we was young also.
And these are your children.
Yeah, this is our family. Me and my wife, 4 girls and 4 boys.
Okay, 4 boys, 4 girls. Beautiful.
And my parents also, and the parents of my wife.
Okay. And then these are your grandchildren?
Yeah.
Super cool. And do all of your children live in this city or this town now? Do all of your children live here or do they live in other countries?
3 of them, 3 families live in Colombia.
Your children?
Our children.
Your children live in Colombia. So you visited your children in Colombia, correct?
Yeah, I've been visited there.
And what's the difference between that community and this community? Like you've been to Belize?
They have a lot of water and they have a lot of rain, and that's what we have. We don't have much water over here. It's dry land over here, and sometimes we don't have a crop. And in Colombia, they have 2 crops a year.
And what do they produce in Colombia? What do they grow in Colombia?
soybeans, corn, rice.
Is that very normal to have a very big garage?
Yeah, we believe we need that. Probably we wouldn't need it that big, but it's good. It counts. This is the old machine what I used to keep.
This is your first machine?
No, first of my dad. I made the wagon. The buggy, next we drove 20 years after we married. Well, that's not the same buggy, but it's the same. When I bought a pickup, I sold my buggy, man. After that, I bought a buggy again.
Now, for how many years was this a traditional form of transportation? For how many years do the Mennonites use this?
50 years, around 50 years.
And when did you guys start going into the trucks, the pickup trucks?
1993. I by myself, but in 1960 began the war. Really? Oh, it was.
The 1960s was the first ones, the first people.
Yeah.
Okay. And so this is what is this? What is this called?
It's a combine. We could call it a thrashing machine if you want.
So this is a combine, and what is the combine used for? What is the purpose of the combine?
The thrashing. Depending on what you put on the front. You can thrash corn, you can thrash beans, you can thrash oats. You just have to change the top. You can see that here.
And what year is this John Deere?
Oh, 80, 85, probably.
And are they still operating? Is it still in operation?
Yeah. I don't use them anymore because I rent my land. I can't work anymore like that.
And do they use this tractor to work your land, or do they use a different tractor?
I just keep that here.
Okay.
If one day who rents my land who wouldn't need that, instead they would couldn't thrash for some reason, then he could take.
What is this equipment? What is this piece of machinery?
It's a stationary thrashing machine.
And what is the purpose of this?
This is a big valve. You put the tractor away. Yeah, that's the reason why I have a big valve. The tractor has to be, the tractor has to be far away for fire, and we use, at that time when I grew up, we used a kind of binder like this.
Okay.
He cut the oats and make the bonnets. You see that here?
Okay, wait. Ah, okay.
Yeah, that's a thrashing machine, stationary. We had to bring the bonnets at home and thrash that. Now there's a machine thrash that on a field. You put that system on the front.
Okay, so you're gonna connect this with this machine. And how do you guys lift this heavy machinery? What do you guys use to lift it all the way to the other side. How do you guys lift this?
Pardon me?
How do you guys lift this? How do you guys lift it? How do you guys put it on the...
That's very easy. Just the machine by itself. They go down and then go ahead and that's very easy.
Interesting. And then those are the old iron...
Wheels.
Okay, these are the old... Let's go see the iron wheels. Wow. And this is also your horse equipment here.
This is for a pony. And this is a gift. This saddle has been using in the Civil War in Mexico, 1910.
Wait, say that again. They were using this in the 1910 revolution.
Yeah. And some of my friends have been giving me that because their grandparents have given that to the family, and the family said, I want to take care of it. I will give you that. And I take care of that. I said this.
And this is this rubber wheels or what is this? This is rubber.
That's rubber just from old tires. That's iron wheels. You can from the fabric. It's iron wheels, but.
And what is this stuff? Your tools?
Yeah, but that kind of lamp. We use this kind of lamp before we have electricity.
And there's gas inside. Kerosene? There's kerosene. Okay, and then you also have your iron wheels over here. You have your belts.
Well, it's for some use, but not for the wheels.
How long has it been since you've worked the fields?
Oh, last years I did still.
And what were you producing? What were you cultivating?
Oats and beans.
Oats and beans. Okay, very interesting. And this is a washing machine?
Yeah, this is a washing machine.
Super, super neat. And how long have you been here? How long has this building been here? How old is this building?
Oh, this building is 15 years probably.
15?
Yeah, that's not much.
Okay, 15 years. And what did you have before? What was it before? Before it was a different one?
No, outside. I had a machine outside.
Okay, John Deere.
It keeps longer if we can't have that inside.
Now, what is this? What is this machine?
This we call it a swanner. Swanner. They cut the oats and put the row, and then that dries. And then you go and pick that up to thrash. Or if you want to go pick that up with a baler to make the bales for feed. This is a baler.
And you know how to operate this, correct? Like you know how to ride all of this equipment, you know how to operate.
Oh yeah. But when just paid to me, that's the beans what we grow.
This is coming from your land. Wow, this is so cool.
Pinto beans.
Pinto beans.
If you're hungry, it's very, very good taste.
Now, is this organic or are you guys?
No.
For how many years has it been not organic in these farms?
60 years ago.
I mean, just look at how big the tire is. Wow, this thing is huge.
You can go up if you want.
And that's his buggy. Wow. This is so neat.
You just go in.
No way. Wow. Talk about a day. You got all this equipment here. Wow. I mean, just look at the view from the all the way here. This is the steering wheel. This is where you change your gears. Wow. Take a look at this. We got another gear shifter, all these knobs. You got the key here. Now this is actually where the things are, and then this is where the steering is. You're of course gonna have your pedals. Wow, you got big wheels. This is a super cool combine. And then you have to have your fire extinguisher. Now today, how much does a machine like this cost?
$20,000.
How many?
20,000. 20,000.
$20,000. ¿Y nuevo?
120.
120.
Sí.
It's expensive.
Fácil. A lo mejor hasta más.
Now, the new combines is mostly computer, correct? It's very advanced. Now, do you guys also like have the technology to fix it when it breaks? The new tractors.
The new ones, yeah, we have to see people who have the collars, but this one, no, we picked up ourselves.
Okay, and how did you learn all of this mechanical skills? Did you go to school?
Well, we never learned that. If something needs to repair, you just take your keys and you go and hammer and you go and find out. Nobody have learned that at the college, huh? And then at home, when Dad fixed put the horseshoes on the feet on the horses, and then we learned.
Wow, this is so cool. And when you came, when you were born, how many meters were you guys drilling for water?
150.
And today?
600. No. Meters you call? Meters?
Yeah.
A foot.
Drilling the water.
Yeah, but
when you were young, how many meters?
Foot or a meter?
No, give me meters. Whatever is easy for you.
100 meters. 100 meters.
And today?
300. Or 250, and we don't have much water if we go that way anyway. This not an area would have a lot of water, no.
So what do you think the future holds for a place like this? If you guys depend on agriculture and there's not a lot of water, what do you think the future?
But I don't irrigate. Just rainfall. If we have a crop, it's good. If we don't have, you have to survive somewhere. 4 years ago, we didn't have rain.
And how's the rain situation? Is it getting more difficult? Is it getting?
Well, we have to buy the feed for our cattle.
But this is from your grandfather's days. This is what you guys initially used. So you would have this, and then you would have a horse?
This is this. Put it here. I have one horse, just one, to put it on the buggy, but not two on the wagon.
And then what is this tractor?
This is a seeding machine.
This one?
The truck is full grain. When we have grain on the field.
And how long have you guys had this truck for?
Can't remember, 20 years, 25 probably. But I use them just for 2-3 miles. and you don't use the much. Just to get the grain from my crop.
And what's your favorite piece of equipment here? What's your favorite machine? Your favorite machine?
Your favorite machine?
Yeah.
This one, this rattle.
Why?
I don't know. I love them much. My boy says, used to say, you should sell that old red tractor. And I said, no, that's my favorite. no sale.
Do they still, do they?
Probably because it have been helping me much. This is not that expensive. We couldn't buy a John Deere tractor, and this one it's not that expensive, and he helps me to grow. Probably that's the way what I love them.
Now this is the John Deere.
Yeah, it's more expensive. Milking room.
Okay.
Milking 50 cows when our folks wasn't home. But I can't do that anymore. Our folks are going away, and I can't milk. I have just some cattle, meat cattle.
What about the young people? You said you rent your land to someone. Why doesn't your children work the land? Are they not in farming?
Oh, they have orchards, apple orchards, and they have a lot of work. They don't want that.
Now, one of the questions I have is here in for the Mennonites, like when you first came, your father had some land, right? And then that land had to be divided with your brothers and siblings, correct?
No, that was. I bought that.
You bought this?
Yeah, when my parents moved to Paraguay, then I bought that. Expensive, but I wouldn't. When my parents passed away, he had land in Paraguay, and then we sold that land over and split that.
Now you've also been to Paraguay, right?
Yeah.
And how's the living situation there? Like, where's for the Mennonites, where do you think it's like between Colombia, Paraguay, what country do you think has the best quality of living?
Well, it's very similar. It's very similar. I wouldn't. Well, I probably Colombian. No, that's very similar. They have rainfall of both countries. This is the motto of it. I'm coming. Under this one. Under this. I'm coming. Under the Nemo. Yeah. Yeah.
Ah, that's so cool. How old is this horse?
1 year.
And this one?
6 years.
And this is the first baby?
No, yeah, it's the first, yeah.
It's a strong, looks very healthy. Looks very healthy.
Yeah.
And back there is where you cultivate.
Yeah.
And right now you're saying you're cultivating oats.
We are waiting for it needs to rain. We need rain. We wouldn't see the oat before if it would rain.
Is life better before or is life better now?
That's better before.
Why?
Keep it cheap, slower, more simple. Live more simple.
And what's why is today not as good as before? Like, what's the problem with today? People have more money. People have
people have more money.
And that's a problem.
Well, yeah, that's the problem. More way to move. Telephone.
And what impact has the internet had in this community, or in your life, or your children's life? The internet and cell phones.
Well, the internet that much, not that much. A lot of people. Well, I can understand that. I couldn't. I can't even not see if I have a message on my phone. I cannot see that. But the phone, it's the phone robs the time of the young folks. Until they would pray for a meal. We have been, me and my wife, and we have learned that a prayer before we have a meal. The young folks, they have a prayer with the phone, and then they begin to eat, and they still play with.
And that's not good.
They don't even enjoy the food.
If you can change one thing in Mexico, what would you change?
More truth. More truth, that's all.
And what about here? If you can change one thing in the Mennonite communities, what would you change?
Live more simple.
Take a look at this grass. Really reminds me of Ohio, where I have lived for the last 10 years. Look at the construction, the doors, very reminiscent of Midwest United States. The grass. You have the old John Deere here. So I took the tour, but they did not allow any filming because they want to preserve what's inside the museum to make sure that it's not on the internet and that people actually come and visit the museum. I actually think it will create more tourism, but that's their rule. Mennonites, 1922. Last year celebrating 100 years. This is the founder, Mino Simmons. This is where the name Mennonite comes from as well. And it is with him where the Amish also come from. It was a Amish dude, Jacob Amin, a follower of him. And he decided to split and become Amish. So this is the founder. This is a Mennonite store here. And this is some of the things that they produce. I think this might be jelly or jam of some sort. And of course, they're very popular for their cheese. And this is all the different variation of cheese that they sell. I know Oaxaca has pretty good cheese, but. And now this is like packaged. You can buy this at the stores. Sunflower seed, dried beef jerky. This is the apples. Mind you, this is a lot of the apple orchards are owned by the Mennonites, and this is a lot of their business. This is what it's based on. This is apple drink here, and then you have more apples, apple drink, and then you have cheeses and other things. You got sweet milk here. You have quilts that they hand make, I believe. The women hand make this. And then you have the books that's in Spanish that you can also purchase. Most of the people that visit here are gonna be Mexicans, so Spanish is the main language. But on Like this book is English, Strangers and Pilgrims, How Mennonites Are Changing Landscapes in Latin America. And the reason why it's Latin America is because Mennonites live in Belize, Colombia, Bolivia, Peru, Uruguay, Paraguay. They live in many different parts of the Latin world. So this is some of the things that I've learned. And one of the things is that the average Mennonite family today has about 6 to 8 children. Before they had 10 to 13 children. So it's a growing community. A lot of them will go back and forth to Canada. About maybe perhaps 40% of the population is dual citizens, maybe with the United States or with Canada. A lot of the people now, especially the conservatives, are going towards the Campeche, the south side of Mexico, the southern states where land is perhaps cheaper, and they can get away from the wave of like modern Mennonites who are just now, what I can see, like some of the people that I've seen, they look like just regular Canadian American people. The dress, the culture, the technology is really not that different than of the modern world. Mennonites are actually very wealthy. When they say to you that we're not of this world, they can say that they don't really like to show that they have a lot or that they dress very plain. Let me tell you, Mennonites, they're not broke. A lot of them have money. What I was told was a lot of the times when they do business in US dollar. So I spoke to Jason, he was a really cool guide. And you can see like in this clip where he talks about like some of the difficulties that they're facing today is with the water situation.
The weather is one of the principal difficulties we have here in this community because it doesn't rain that much. I think it is pretty much all of the difficulties we have as community.
And what do you think the future like holds for you guys?
Well, I hope that we as Mennonites grown a lot more than we have nowadays in all the aspects, in jobs, occupations, and also with families and communities. I hope that we grow a lot.
Is life better before in this community, or is life better now?
Now.
Why?
Yes. Because of how we as Mennonites have grown as community. I think it's nowadays it is better than before.
A lot has changed and a lot hasn't changed. The major industry is still agriculture. You can see these tractors behind me, and on this road for 35 kilometers you have nothing but tractors. And what I was assuming was that these tractors are going to be sold to the Mexicans, but guess what? It's not. All of these businesses that's involved in the tractor business, they're just selling to other Mennonites. In the state of Chihuahua, there can be about 5 million people, but a lot of the tax revenue, the tax base, comes from the Mennonites. The Mennonites pay by far the most taxes, and this is why they have a favorable condition with the Mexican government, is that they actually pay taxes. So if they need to get things built, things done, they ask for it, and a lot of times they get it. So this is the outside of the museum, and this is some of the old equipment that they use. Of course, they don't use this equipment anymore, perhaps for like the last 40, 50 years. None of this stuff has been used. So yeah, they didn't want me filming, but I can say like the culture is still very American, very Western, the way of doing things. So the main things that the Mennonites grow is going to be corn, beans, what is it called? Sunflower. They're also growing a lot of apples. Thanks to the Mennonites, Mexico has apples made in Mexico. Most of the population here speaks English, Spanish, German, with German being like the language that's taught in school. And that's the language where a lot of them have to learn to graduate from high school. Their English is really good. Like Jason's English is really, really good. He said his German is just like that, and his main language is Spanish. This is Mexico after all. Can you say something in German?
Yes, it will be sehr glücklich, dass du hier sind, because I am pretty happy that you are here.
And can you say that in Spanish?
Sí, estoy muy agradecido que nos pudo visitar el día de hoy.
You have two major groups of the Mennonites here. You have those that are still very ultra conservative, and then you also have the progressives. A lot of the people that's going to be working here, they're going to be on the progressive side. Now, some of the things that the progressives do is that they marry outsiders. So Jason, his mother was a Mexican lady who decided to get baptized and converted to Mennonite. So today, a lot of the younger children, they go to university to become doctors. And what I liked about them is that, yes, they study everything, but they mostly study things that's important for the community. So civil engineering, being a doctor, learning how to use equipment, things that benefit the community is what a lot of them study. And the same thing goes for the women and the men. They basically can study anything they want. If you ever come to Chihuahua, come to Ciudad cuauhtemoc. The museum is actually real nice. It's only 50 pesos, $2.50 or so to get in. If you reserve beforehand, it's 30 pesos, so about a little bit more than $1.50. The tour guides, they speak many different languages, so whatever you speak, they're probably gonna have it for the most part. It's a very clean place. It's a pretty good tour. They just did a really good job at designing it and putting a museum together. It's a very worthwhile visit, so I would actually say come and spend a few hours. So we're gonna get on the road now. We're gonna go see more farm equipment, and we're gonna go to the restaurant, to Los Arcos. We're gonna go taste Mennonite food, and I'll let you know how it tastes. So a lot of these construction projects is the Mennonites. A lot of this land that you're looking at is gonna be Mennonites. Anything on both sides is gonna be Mennonites, at least for 35 kilometers, and all the way towards the US border, you're gonna find Mennonite communities. The stricter ones, you're gonna find them more north, but let's go to Los Arcos and let's go try some typical Mennonite food. So this is the Mennonite Restaurant. Buenas tardes, ¿cómo estás? Quiero comer algo muy típico Mennonitas.
¿Listo para ordenar?
Ok, sí. Primero dame, caldos posible, ¿sí? Dame, ¿qué recomienda? ¿Tortilla o dame tortilla?
Ok.
Orden.
Ok.
Ok, en este menú, ¿a qué cosa es, cómo dice, algo típico Mennonita?
Este come mucho. Caldo de pollo, fideos y caldo de papa y sopa de ejotes.
Pero caldo de pollo también es muy Mennonita, pero preparado de una manera diferente de otros mexicanos, o exactamente lo mismo.
Sí.
Okay, no, dame pollo, the fritos.
La tortilla no.
No.
Okay.
So this is what they have at the Mennonite Restaurant. They have many normal-looking things that you would find in the Mexican restaurants. Is basically what you'll find here. I think what she told me was the special was the caldo de pollo, the caldo de papa. That's kind of, or sopa de ejotes. That's kind of popular. They also have on this side, I went with this one without any pork. So she said this is pretty popular. Here it looks like an American diner, basically. I don't know why they have these things. Is it for privacy reasons? Like, I don't know what this is for, but this is pretty interesting. But basically got an American diner serving mostly Mexican, American kind of food.
Caldo de pollo.
Okay, you speak English, right?
Little bit.
Okay,
Not much.
so this is for like privacy. This is for like the families, or like a husband, wife, if they're going to eat.
See?
I think so. I don't, that's my mind, but I wanted to ask you.
Yes.
See, this is what it's for.
Yes.
That's interesting. Very cool. So this is my first meal. I'm gonna taste this and let you guys know. This is what I got as a main. This is my soup, and this is not soup. This is for the chips. And yes, this is a privacy thing. If there's like couples and they just want to eat in peace, this is what they have. And the other chair is like that too. but I guess if you're super tall, everybody can see. So this here is Mennonite empanadas, and I took a taste of this. I don't think it tastes all that good. Is this mostly cheese? It's normal. It's very heavy in cheese. I probably would not try this again, but because I ordered it, I'm gonna finish it. But it's just normal cheese. It's normal. So one thing I've noticed is that the Mennonites food is a lot more reasonably priced. Not a lot more, but it's very reasonably priced. I would assume that it would be a little bit more expensive because it is a little bit touristic. But for what I got, this is definitely priced pretty well. I know that the caldo de pollo is more expensive in other places, and even the food that I got, what is this, renake, is, I don't know what to compare it to, but I think empanadas can be more expensive, so good job for them. Thanks to them. If you do come to the city, you will see Mennonite businesses, but today a lot of them, like in many parts of the world, the Mennonites live kind of away from the city and on their land, usually doing agricultural things. So, but this is kind of like the city that they formed. Before them, this was basically nothing, and now the city is pretty big, pretty significant. A lot of commercial activity happens here. So here's the statue of a Mennonite man here in the center of town, or right near the center of town. And we're gonna get closer and look at the plaque. So they came to Mexico. Like in many other Mennonite communities, the Mennonites work. They have their overalls, and you can see basically a machete and some leaves or some trees, and they're coming here and working. So I think this was constructed 1995 to 1998. This is a dedication, the monument of what? The community of the Mennonites. This is, at that time, this was their 75th anniversary, but now we have more than 100 years. I think it's 102 years now, if I'm not mistaken, or 101 years. So why is this called Ontario Plaza? A lot of the Mennonites are from Canada, and all of this area here is called the Manitoba Mennonites. This is where the Mennonites that came from Manitoba, the state of Manitoba, this is where they live. There's 17,000 in this community. In the state of Chihuahua, there's 60,000, and in Mexico, there's 100,000. So I'm gonna go right there and show you guys why this place is wealthy and why this place is very important for Mexico. Do you guys see all of this farm equipment here? This tiny, small part of Chihuahua, the biggest state of Mexico, here in Ciudad, cuauhtemoc, produces more tax dollars than anywhere else in the state. And it is because of all of these tractors, the agricultural industry, the Mennonites. The reason why the government likes them, the reason why they have supported them for the last 100 years is because of all of this industry. Because of all the things they produce in the apple industry, oats, corn, beans that they export and get US dollars. This is why Mexico really likes the Mennonites. All of this area here, 20 miles, more than 20 miles on each side, you're just gonna see industry, silos, things like this. But you got John Deere, you're gonna have Caterpillar in the area. These are just huge, this is huge machinery here. So same thing goes for that side. Every man has perhaps something different or something similar, but his clientele is other Mennonites. So on the other side of this fence, you have pipes. I don't know if they're going to be used for like big buildings, but this is a piping business here. So all of this is the land of the Mennonites. Everything we've seen just now and everything on this side is Mennonite territory. And I think I'm gonna continue to say it, but they have the absolute best homes in Mexico. And when I say best, I'm just talking about one community. Of course, there's people in many different states in Mexico that have bigger homes or more expensive homes, but just the amount of level development is extremely high here. So this is their cows. I'm noticing they have a different breed of cows. It's a typical American breed. I mean, you don't really see these in Mexico that often. I'm wondering if these are the railroads that they came on. That'd be very interesting.
I never been in school to learn that thing is what I can talk.
Where did you learn? Your dad?
Practicing that.
Practice. Wow.
Get farm machinery from the United States and books and read books and listen radio and.
What do you think the future holds for the Mennonites here in Ciudad, cuauhtemoc, in this area of Chihuahua? What is your prediction for the next 20 years, 30 years, 50 years from now? What is your prediction?
Well, it looks a little bit dark. I think we will lose our culture. Probably some people would agree with me and they would do more about that, but if they don't, we will still keep the name of Mennonites, but I don't know. They don't. A lot of things we don't. We are not agree with Mexican systems, but no, it looks a little bit dark. I don't know. I can't. If I think about it, I cannot sleep. I bet I don't think about it. That's not on my power that I can change something. Better, I don't think it.
Are you not optimistic that life will continue, that Mennonites will continue to prosper, have a growing population, and continue to be productive people?
Yeah, I think a lot of people move because they want to keep the system, the tradition, and then they move. And if a big group would move, and then the other group will stay and they wouldn't. I don't know. They wouldn't change our mind, and probably Mennonite, Mexican Mennonites, but well, we are Mexican Mennonite, but I sure don't know. I cannot not give opinion because it's for me. It's hard to think that would. I don't think that would keep that way, and I cannot believe that would still growing with the technology. That would be a good thing. I don't think so.
How many Mexican people become Mennonites? Convert to becoming Mennonites?
Not really. Just a few, but not really.
Do you guys have a lot of people, Mennonites, marrying Mexicans?
No, also no.
Oh, it's very few.
If they marry, because we have marriage, Mexicans and Mennonites, they're not much, but we have. Some of them they give up and they go to church anymore. Some of them would go, but Mennonites don't want to go to the Mexican church, and the Mexican church would not want to the Mennonite church. They want to gather to work and to make money and whatever, but it's a religion. The Mexicans would not agree with Mennonites. The Mennonites would not agree with Mexicans. It's different.
Can you say something in German, in your language? You speak German. You also speak Plautdietsch.
Plautdietsch.
And you also speak German?
Ja, ich spreche auch Deutsch.
Okay, can you say something in your local language, Plautdietsch?
Det som inte det var en annan stålen bit Plautdietsch redan, men det har för diesen Frau gehabt, och vad är det då hej fra mig nu det tog kom för men det mig med till dessa evensberättelserna så att säga.
And then can you say something in German?
Ja, ich spreche schon Hochdeutsch. Dieser Onkel, der möchte etwas mehr erfahren von den Mennoniten in der Zukunft und mir sieht das ein wenig finster. Ich kann nicht eine genaue Antwort darauf geben, nicht mal genau, was ich davon denke.
And can you say something in Spanish?
Y mire, se está preguntando este señor sobre el futuro de los menonitas en México. No puedo realmente opinar porque veo el futuro un poquito oscuro. Probablemente, o sea, Dios sabe cómo y cuándo y por qué, pero no sé, no puedo dar una opinión en concreto de la pregunta que él me hace.
And can you say what you said in English?
No, en inglés no.
Mr. Peters, what is one of the last things you would like to say to anybody? Do you have a particular message you would like to say? Any final words?
Well, I would suggest to live more simple and love each other more love to God and have more time to the religion. Not just money. The money, that's good to have, but money when we need that. But I would just live more simple.
Mr. Abraham Peters, he speaks many different languages, and he has been graceful enough to show me his home, his tractors, his horses, his pony, and to take a lot of time out of his day to explain the history, the history of Mennonites coming from Holland, going to Russia, to Canada, and then all the way to here, and then explaining about all the dynamic things between the Mennonites, the culture, the changes. So I thank Mr. Peters for that. He's been very welcoming, and may God give him